Today's Midday Kentucky Cooking segment brought to you by Creative Kitchen and Bath, where you will always cook in style.
Welcome back to Midday Kentucky. Chef Allison Davis here at the Wild Time Kitchen over in Chenaway here in Lexington. And I am whipping up a little brunch favorite of mine today, which is a sweet and savory waffle. I know that may sound strange to some to have a savory waffle, but it's actually one of my favorite things, especially with brunch. So we are going to make up a crispy waffle batter, which I think is key. When you're cooking a waffle, you want to have that crispy exterior, fluffy, not super dense. And so we're going to work on the batter a little bit. We're going to add in one of my other favorite things, which is a cheese. Whoops. It's a Bourbon cheese, which is a garlic and herb, and it's going to add this creamy texture, a lot of flavor, and the savory components. And then we're going to add the sweet in with our syrup, and I'm going to do a little bourbon blueberry syrup here. All right, so as far as the waffle goes, we're going to mix all of our dry ingredients together first. So I have about 1½ cups of flour. Then we have about 2 tablespoons or so of sugar. And then I have a combination of cornstarch, baking powder, and baking soda for our dry ingredients. And I have to say the cornstarch is probably one of the most important parts, well, along with the baking powder as well, because the baking powder helps it to rise. But the cornstarch helps the waffle to get nice and crispy. All right, so we also have a few wet ingredients. In addition to the cornstarch, I'm going to add just a pinch of salt in here. All right, we have some eggs, and this is another important part to working with the waffle and separating the egg yolks from the egg whites. So what I did with the egg whites was I went ahead and whisked them to where they're almost kind of that nice stiff or soft peak, and then they'll have the yolks in the other bowl. We're going to add in our Bourbon cheese to this, and then I'm also going to add in some buttermilk, okay? I looked and researched a little bit because sometimes you don't have buttermilk in your fridge, and if you want to have that good buttermilk waffle, you may be tempted to just use milk. But you can use milk, but there's a way that you can turn milk into buttermilk, and that's just through the addition of acidity. So you can add about a tablespoon of vinegar to a cup of milk, or a tablespoon of lemon juice to a cup of milk. And everybody's already calling to get the recipe around here. All right, so what we're going to do is now pour in our wet ingredients to our dry. And then the final step in mixing up our waffle is folding in our egg whites into our mixture, and then that is what's going to give us that fluffy, consistency. Get a little bit more here. Looks like I may need just a little more. It should basically be like a really thick pancake batter consistency. So if you feel like it's just a little too thick, just add a little bit more of that buttermilk in there. All right, so now that we've got it thin enough to kind of whisk through, I'm going to take a spoon and we're going to just start to fold in our egg whites, and we should be good to go. And that Bourbon cheese is a perfect cheese to just mix in with this waffle batter because it's soft and fluffy. It's almost just like an herb crusted butter. All right. Now, when you're folding, remember to just fold outside in, and you don't want to lose that fluffiness of the pancake mixture, or of the egg whites. You want to just really kind of fold in nicely from outside to in. All right, and that is our waffle batter. What we're going to do for the syrup is we're going to add our blueberries. We're going to start to cook those in with a little bit of water, and then I'm just going to add in some maple syrup. Pure maple syrup along with a little bit of honey. And if you wanted, you could take this a lot of different directions with cinnamon, sugar, you name it. But we're basically just going to cook this down to get a nice thick blueberry syrup. And then I mentioned that little touch of bourbon, and that bourbon's just going to give it the kick it needs. But you guys are going to be able to get this full recipe, and we're going to show you up this waffle here in a minute if you go to WTVQ.com/recipes tab, and you click on the recipes, and you'll be able to see this along with many more. And my name is Chef Allison Davis, and we'll be right back after this short break.